Let's talk about week 2 of Dana White's Contender Series. This was way better than week 1. Everybody got signed. We're going to talk about each and every fighter, each and every fight. And we're going to talk about Esposito, because I thought he should have gotten signed from his toughness, like a developmental contract. But let's talk about it, folks. First fight of the night, we're going to talk about Ramiro Jimenez versus Tommy Kuzi. Ramiro Jimenez just looked really good on the feet. He has really good hands. He's crispy on the feet. He was tagging Kuzi with some great shots, and Jimenez just looked way too good out there. And he eventually finishes Kuzi in the first round with, on the feet with just amazing striking, and he got a contract at the end of the night. He deserved it coming out of Mexico. I think this guy definitely ready for some UFC competition. I would like to. He kind of reminded me of Vallejos, but not as crispy as Vallejos. Vallejos is still really good on the feet, but definitely Ramiro Jimenez deserved that contract. I think he was literally the second best guy behind Jose Delgado, dude. Jose Delgado was something else. We're gonna get to him, but this guy was definitely like two for me, number two in getting a contract. But let's move on. Josh Hokett versus Guilherme Uriel, whatever, doesn't matter. Guy got smoked in the first round by Hokett. This guy is basically the heavyweight Kobe Covington. He really just goes out there and mauls you to the ground. He kind of reminded me of like, I don't want to say Fluffy Hernandez, but he just like consistent takedown. He had good cardio, and literally after the first round, Uriel was just done on the feet. He was just done. He was done. He was so gassed from the first round. Hokett basically took him down. TKO win for Josh Hokett. He gets on the mic later on, and he's just another, I don't even want to say gooner, but he's just another Kobe Covington out there. But yeah, he deserved the contract. He kind of weighs in at 228, but I think he's good for heavyweight. I think, with his little grappling that he has, he's good. He's good at heavyweight. He's probably way better than some of the heavyweights that we have on the roster, like he said. So yeah, he deserved the contract. We move on. Lewis Lee Scott versus Kashiki Sekumar, whatever, Anshu Jubilee. The grappling version of Anshu Jubilee. Lewis Lee Scott, he showed everything in his arsenal out there. Submission defense, takedown defense. He has hands. He has kicks. This guy has everything. He had everything. He missed weight by half a pound, but still, he went out there and still finished Anshu Jubilee's cousin, and he still got signed at the end of the night. I can't wait to see this guy fight. I don't know who would he fight. I don't know, but definitely he's definitely not. I don't want to say he's ready for the UFC, but he showed out so much that it looked like, he's ready for his first UFC fight. Not like some other guys that that just don't look ready for the UFC. This guy showed everything that he got. He looked ready against Anshu Jubilee. Maybe I would like to see him against another opponent that's not Indian, obviously. But Lewis Lee Scott still got a contract, still look good out there. We move on. Brandon Holmes versus Cam Roston. Cam Roston's second time coming back. He lost to Torres Finley. Finney, I don't know how you lose to Torres Finley, but whatever. He smoked Holmes. I'm gonna be honest with you. He smoked this guy in the first round. Super easy, dude. He went out there. His striking looked crisp. He landed some crazy elbows on Holmes. Dropped him. Finished him in the first round. He called out Dana White to tell, put me on the Perth card. He's gonna get his wish. I'm kind of glad they're beefing up the Perth card a little bit. The main event in Olberg versus Reyes. It's a fight night, I get it, and there's already like 16 fights on the card. But eventually one of these fights are gonna fall. Minus will have another fight on the card. But Cam Roston, he's like 30 years old. It was his time to get a contract. He got the contract. He looked good out there. I thought he looked I thought he was like the third best fighter on this little on Dana White's Contender Series. He looked really good out there. Let's talk about the featured fight though. This fight right here, dog, crazy. Manuel Esposito versus Jose Delano. I gotta say one thing. Delano should have been in the UFC a year ago. If he was striking like this a year ago, this man should have been in the UFC. This man, out of everybody on here, he looked UFC ready. I get why he was the biggest favorite on the card. This guy has hands, has kicks. He looks so crispy on the feet. His striking is so amazing. And if the guy that he was not using as a punchy bag and Manuel Esposito didn't have a chin, he would have gotten a first round finish. But Manuel Esposito, I wanted to talk about this guy. I really wish they would have gave him a developmental contract or something, like anything, because yes, he was a punching bag, but he has a chin. He can strike out there. He hit Delano with some good shots. They said that he's gonna be like a short notice opponent. Please, he has to be in the UFC. This guy showed heart, and you know, and I like that. I like when a guy goes out there, and even if he's getting his ass beat, he's still showing heart out there. Emmanuel Esposito has to be in the UFC, and I think he will be in the UFC. We'll be hearing his name maybe later on this year. But Jose Delano, man, this guy's something else, dude. This guy, I can see him fighting. I don't want to say I can see him fighting somebody in the top 15, but close to the top 15, and he has a chance at winning. This guy is on the feet is crazy. I want to see him fight very soon. If they can give Roston a fight in Perth, give this guy something on the Brazil card, I don't care. That guy looked so good out there. I have to see him fight again. But overall, week 2 was way better than week 1. Everybody got signed, all 5 winners. And I can't wait for next week. I love the Contender Series, dude. I like when guys show out. I just wish there was a little bit more high-level guys like Jose Delano. Jose Delano, you can tell he's a little bit more high-level than everybody. But I was really impressed. I was really impressed with him. And Ramiro Jimenez, dude. Those 2 guys, they showed out. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'm Gene Epps MMA. Like and subscribe, and I'm out.